Yo, there he is. That's Chris. This is the guy that wrote the Tony Robbins article that's blowing up. It's like the biggest article that Sumo's ever put out. Chris. Hey, tell us a little bit about that article, about why you wrote it and what's up with it.
Oh yeah, man. So I came across this guy. His name's Tony Robbins, and I was looking into his website traffic, and he's got 1 million website visitors every single month.
Yeah.
So I reverse engineered exactly what he's doing to get these 1 million website visitors, and I wrote it in this article so anyone can follow exactly what he's doing to get a massive amount of traffic to their website, just like Tony has.
Dude, hell yeah. We're going to jump in and break it down. We'll take a look right now. Thanks.
All right, before we jump into the article, I'd ask you to click up here in the right-hand corner and it'll take you to the actual article so you can follow along with me. So what I want to do in this video is just give a 10,000-foot overview of the article, and then you can go and look at the sections that you want to get more granular and learn more about in the actual article. So tip number 1 on how Tony Robbins generates 1 million unique visitors, unique people who come to his site every single month. All right, the first thing that he does is he starts with a trend that's been very popular lately, and that is to invite people to take personalized quizzes right when they come. So you see that button right there. Take our free life assessment. And what this does is it creates interest because it's very interesting, kind of probing personal questions, not some dry, are you man or woman? It's very interesting. And then it shows people the gap that they're having. So you go through and you're like, how do you feel about your relationships on a scale of 1 to 10? How do you feel about this, this, and this? And at the end, it says, well, you've got this big gap that you need to close. Here's how to do it. So that's a very cool technique. There's a lot of people who are using quizzes right off their homepage to generate interest and do these things that Tony's doing. Step number 2 is a homepage that is appealing to all different learning styles. So you've heard of the different learning styles, right? Visual, auditory, kinesthetic, auditory, digital, and that's where the VAKAD came from. But basically, he's appealing to all these separately with unique types of unique types of components that will appeal to everyone. So visual will be pictures and videos. Auditory, what they're hearing. Kinesthetic, feeling and doing. And auditory digital is more facts and figures. So as you go through, you can see that he appeals to all these different type of people, because when you're coming through with traffic to your site, you don't know what they're all doing. You don't know what their type of learning process is. So in this, you're able to appeal to all of them, and you don't even have to worry about it. Tip number 3, he's got what's called invisible mini funnels. And basically all these is specific small funnels pertaining that focus specifically on the reason that people are there. So some person may want to be there to improve their relationships. Some people may want to be there to improve their health. You never know why they're doing that. But as soon as he has a call to action that relates to one of those, he takes you to a specific funnel. So the rest of your experience is tailored exactly for why you're there. So here's an example. Do you want to improve your business? Learn more. Do you want to improve your personal life? Learn more. 2 totally different things. Imagine him trying to market to both of those groups with one funnel. It can't be nearly as specific. It doesn't feel like he's talking to you exactly, which is what he can do now that he has this information. Okay, tip number 4. You're going to want to jump into the article to look at this one as it gets pretty granular. But basically, when you have a strong established brand like Tony Robbins does, you can see here all the different paid ads that he's using. And he's basically maximizing the different offers that he puts in front of people. Look at all these different ones that pop up when you search it. And the reason he can do that, even though it may ding your quality score on Google AdWords a little bit, which just means they say, it may not be that relevant to the people that are searching for this. He doesn't care because his brand's so strong, he knows he's going to make money off that. Tip number 5 is the old peacock technique. And basically what this means is you're just going to research what kind of content performs best in different mediums. So Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. And then what you're going to do is play that up. So if you find people respond to Tony Robbins clapping, put a bunch of pictures and videos of him clapping. Now, another thing he's doing is he's using the examples of other people. So when other people post his stuff, or when Oprah says this, and Oprah, he's always blasting that across his social media, peacocking the fact or showing off the fact that all these other famous people are supporting what he's doing or like what he's doing. He's kind of infamous for name dropping. And in this, it's kind of a next level. He's not only able to talk about that when he's speaking, but across his Instagram, he's showing you, man, look how cool I am. Look at everybody talking about me. Look at everybody supporting me. I'm the big dog. And the thing is that social credibility, or the support, knowing that other famous and influential people are supporting you, is powerful. So it makes sense what he's doing, and that's something that you can do in your own strategy. Even if you don't have Oprah hyping up your stuff, just simply sharing a single other person having a kind comment about what you're doing can be very powerful. Okay, tip number 6 is Tony's TRRCSS sales call strategy. And that sounds very complicated, but basically all he's doing, he has all these calls to action, driving people to schedule a phone call. Everybody knows that phone calls right here, they convert the best. When you get somebody on the phone, they learn a little bit about you. Here's a coaching strategy. Look at that kind man. I want to talk to that guy. And once you get them on the phone, they're much more willing to become a paying customer because they feel that rapport. They feel like they've got some individual attention. And in all honesty, they feel like the solution is probably having a better chance or will have a better chance to be successful. So basically, the TRRCSS strategy is to get people on the phone to create that rapport and close them in sales. Okay, tip number 7 pertains to a term. Have you heard of ad blindness, or banner blindness, I think is a technical term? It basically just means as you see ads more and more and more, the ad frequency goes up on you, it has less of an impact on you. Eventually, if on every time you loaded your Chrome browser or whatever you use, in the right top corner there was an ad for Tony Robbins, you eventually would not even notice it at all. Your brain, your subconscious would pay it no attention. So every additional time that happens, it reduces the effectiveness of the ad. So this section is all about how Tony gets around that. For instance, the 3-part dynamic carousel is within Facebook. That's a tool where you can put different pictures up so you can scroll them around so it's not the same one. And he also spends a lot of time on retargeting, which just means people who have expressed interest in the Tony Robbins brand, they've clicked on something, they've watched a video on YouTube, he'll follow you around or retarget you across all kinds of different networks. The Google Display Network, one of the most popular, Facebook, and YouTube as well. Number 8, the Tony Robbins clapping ritual. I made a video for this, and it basically goes through just how every high performance athlete has a ritual to kind of get them in that peak state and that peak performance. You don't want any variability in your performance. When people are paying, $5,000 plus for a weekend with Tony Robbins and they expect it to be one of the best weekends of their lives, he can't go out there and have a dud. So I put this video together that I backwards engineered all the 7 steps that he does to get himself in that peak excitement and that peak focus. And one of them is his insane hand clapping ritual. So I'd suggest you go there. You can find that video here on our YouTube channel, or if you click the card up in the right corner and go to the article, you can scroll down, and in number 8 there's a link to that video. Basically what he does, well, I'll just let you go to it. You can read it here, but I think you'd enjoy watching the video, so you can check that out. All right, number 9 is how he positions and markets his podcast, okay? So he's known for doing great interviews, and he's got a great podcasting voice, a really strong presence. But the one thing that he focuses on is not overloading people with promotional content. So he wants to, and if you have any YouTube or podcasting that you're doing, you can't bog people down with a bunch of marketing because it just seems cheesy and phony and they don't trust you. Sure, you can pepper in a call to action, but don't overload it and be constantly, and by the way, I've got a product here that can help you if you want to learn more about that. You got to use a little bit of more finesse. And it talks about his different podcasting types here that you can go through in this section as well. All right, the content multiplier technique is something that I've seen that we use here at Sumo quite a bit, and Tony Robbins uses, and everyone who's into content marketing is using this, and it basically enables you to get more value from your specific content pieces by co-promoting it with your other content pieces. So it's kind of reciprocal content marketing, which enables you to kind of pump up your own stuff by pointing links and by drawing attention to it. Kind of like this video that you're watching right now. This is co-promoting the article. right? So these things refer to each other, and that's a content multiplier technique, because when they work together, they get a lot more buzz and a lot more traffic and a lot more organic respect than if just one piece is there together. So that's something very powerful. If you're not doing that, you definitely want to dive into this section and read a little bit more about that. Now, the last one, number 11, this is awesome, because we're seeing a lot of people who first start growing their email lists, and maybe they don't have a product, but maybe you're an author like Tony Robbins and you want to make some dough, right? So what he does is he drives people to the product for a pre-order form so people can buy. Maybe you get a 20% discount. Say you got a book coming out in 2 months. Hey, pre-order now, I'll give you 20% off. Now he's got revenue coming in before the book is even released. So this is something that's very powerful. This is something that you can do if you don't have a product yet. That way you have cash flow coming in beforehand. In addition to that, Tony uses Sumo. This is what's called a welcome mat. So every single person that comes to his site sees this. It's not somewhere deep in the funnel where only a certain small percentage are able to navigate to it. This actually shows everybody exactly what he wants them to see. So this has a huge impact on his conversions and his pre-orders, because opposed to 3 to 4% of people who navigate to his pre-order book in the funnel, 100% of people see this. Okay, very cool. So that's a 10,000 foot view of this article. I highly suggest you click the link up here in the right corner.